with Azure AD. AD means Azure Active Directory. So the answer will be B, join the device to Azure Active Directory. Why? Join the device to Azure AD is mean that joining a device is an extension to registering a device. It is just register a device of an extension. It provides you with all the benefits of registering a device. It provides all the registering device, like being able to enable or disable the device. If you want to enable or disable, you can do it from here. And the question 2 is identify 3 differences from the following list between Azure Active Directory and a traditional Active Directory domain service ADTS. Select 3. Here you have to choose the three correct answers. So the probably answers options were Azure AD uses HTTP and HTTPS communications. Azure AD uses Kerberos authentication. There are no organizational units, OU, and group policy object GPOs in Azure AD. Azure AD includes federation services. Last one is Azure AD can be queried through LDAP. The right answers will be A, C, and D, because we know Azure AD always open on our web browser, and web browser communicate with HTTP and HTTPS. And we know the structure of Azure AD is a flat structure. There is no type of organizational unit and group policy. So another right answer will be C, and the last right answer will be D, because Azure AD includes federation services. Now, question number 3. You would like to add a user who has a Microsoft account to your subscription. Which type of user account is this? Select one. It has a account like a subscription, but not in your organization, not in your tenant. So it will be a guest user. Okay. So right answer will be here, guest user. And question number 4, you are configuring self-service password reset. Which of the following is not validation method? Select one. Which one is not validation method? An email notification, we saw there is a validation method of email notification. A text or code sent to your users and mobile office phone, it is also a validation method. A paging service, it is not included in Azure self-service password reset. So it is the right answer. And a set of security questions. We saw 3, 4, and 5. 3 types of security questions we can set. So the right answer will be here, C. Now the question number 5. You are assigning Azure AD roles. Which role will allow the user to manage all the groups in your teams tenants, and be able to assign other administrator roles? Select one. Which roles if you have that you can manage all the groups in your teams, and also you can able to assign another administrator roles of a user. It will be the role of global administrator. It will be not be a password administrator, it will not be a security administrator, it will not be a user administrator. Only global administrator can manage all the groups in tenant, and also can assign another administrator role in any account. So these are the answer of my last classes 5 questions. I will also give you some questions in this class also at the last of the class. So Surag, this is the end of the questions, 5 questions, and I gave the answers. Please check all of you, how many you are going already gave the right answers. And if you can't understand the answers, you can mail me again or message me again, so I can elaborate you briefly for the answers.
Great. I hope you guys have answered it all correct. I think a lot of people have answered in the comments, and A lot of people did get it right. And you can, if you haven't, if you just came to the chat and you haven't tried it, please do go into the uh, questions and answers. We'll be posting the answers in the comment of that post. So let me share the assessment again. You can have a look at it and answer it. So I think we can wait 3 minutes. I think a lot of people are still joining.
Hello, Suraj. Can I share one opinion from my side
Sure,
to the participants?
sure.
All of you, I just share one thing, opinion from my own opinion. It is not, it is my personal opinion that please focus on the course training. Then you focus on the certificates. Certificate is needed for job, for applying job and other things. But you actually need the knowledge to success in your life and in your career. So please, first of all, focus on your learning. It is the most important. We are here to give you the maximum learning materials or learning knowledge as we can. And I hope you will understand these things.
Yeah, I also think Yasin is correct. The certificate comes next after, like, after you have that skill, right? So you need to be focusing on the skills and improving your skills. So the certificate is to make you reach the interview, and next is coming up your skills and your knowledge in that topic. So without the knowledge, it won't be useful to have a certificate. Uh, so yeah, I hope you guys will be understanding it. And I would like to repeat that there won't be any attendance today. I think we're on time. Okay. And so I think we are good to be starting. Thank you all for joining today's session for the day 2 of A0104 training. Yasin is here with us today to walking through all the topics for the day 2. Let us hear from him.
Hello, everyone. I'm Yasin again here to deliver some modules for from AZ104 exams. And today also uh, I will share two modules here. So let's go start with modules because we have a lot of things to do work here. So I'm sharing my first module here. So this is module number 3. It is the governance and compliance of Azure. So what we will learn in this module, analyze cost and create budget with Azure Cost Management. There is an option in Azure. It is called Azure Cost Management. From the cost management, how we can analyze a cost and create a budget, predict cost and optimize spending for Azure. How we will predict cost and how we will optimize that spending. Control and organize Azure resources with Azure Resource Manager. There is another option is Azure Resource Manager. By Azure Resource Manager, how we can control the resources and how we can organize them. Apply and monitor infrastructure standards with Azure policy. How we can apply and make a infrastructure monitor with a standard Azure policy. There are some policy. Create custom roles for Azure resources with role-based access control. There is another option here is role-based access control. From here, we can control some custom roles of Azure resources, which we can implement on the resources of Azure, like VM or any other resources. Manage access to an Azure subscription by using Azure role-based access control. How you can manage subscription, access of subscription by the role-based access control. Secure your Azure resources with role-based access control. So we have a lot of work with role-based access controls. Shortly, it is called RBAC. So let's start. Subscription and accounts overview. What is the subscription and accounts overview? Last class, I told you that if you need to use any resources in Azure, you need to have any subscription and you need one accounts. First of all, you need one accounts, and with that account will be associated with one subscription. Then you are able to use Azure resources and your requirements. So first of all, the region in subscription, there is first one is region. What is region? Microsoft Azure made up data center located around the globe. In all whole the globe, they have some data center. These data center are organized and made available to end user for end user graphical geographical area based on the geographical area. Suppose you are in the Asia, so you can select the region of your resources in East Asia or Asia Pacific like this. Or if you are in the US, then you can choose your resource from the US. So this is the regions, and we know that we have total Azure has available of total 60 plus regions and available 140 countries. There are 60 plus regions and 60 plus regions covering by 140 countries. So what are they doing? They are doing preserve data, select regions close by users. This is there are some points I have written here. So look at that point. Select regions close to your user. Suppose you have made an one application and that application are mostly used by the Europe. So you can choose the data center of Europe to host it, that application. Beware of region deployment availability. There is another thing is deployment availability. Some regions has no, there are a lot of resources in Azure. So some regions have not that support of resources in that region. So you have to check first that one, that whether your resources can be supported on that region or not. So you have to check about this and be aware of this. There are global services that are region independent. There are some service that no need to think about because they are all are in globally. Every region has this type of service like VM, like Azure DNS, Azure Traffic Manager, Active Directory, like this. Regions are paired or highly availability. There is another thing, regions are paired. The two or three regions can be paired for the high availability. Suppose if there is a problem in one region, if there is a flood or any natural calamity happen in one region and the data center become down, then another region can you can recover your data from the another region. So this is another things for regions about Azure. Now it's Azure subscription. I told you that we need a Azure account first. So here is the written graphical. There is Azure account. Now in Azure account, by Azure account, you need some subscription. Subscription is a logical Azure service that linked with a Azure account. It is linked with Azure account. In one Azure account, we can have lot of Azure subscription. Suppose here you have a software company and you are making you are going to cloud in and takes Azure as a cloud service, select Azure as a cloud service, and you have Azure account. Now you have three different departments like development department, test department, and sub production department. So now you make three type of description subscription: one for development subscription, another for test subscription, another for product subscription. So each subscription are different resources using. So this also you can do one account and different subscription. For why this is needed? This is needed. Why we need it? We can do one subscription and we can make this one resource manager or group manager. But no, this is the one thing you can do for to check the billing system. Suppose how many bill is generated by the development subscription, how many bill can be generated by the test subscription, how many bill can be generated by the product subscription, and you can make a budget there. From the budget, suppose development budget, you can give the development $100 for suppose a budget. Test the test subscription, you can make subscription of $200. Product subscription, you can make subscription of $300, like this. So you can separate the billing and budget also. What is Azure accounts? Subscription have accounts. Every subscription needs an account. An Azure account is simply an identity in Azure Active Directory. In Azure Active Directory, we need an account, or in a directory that is trusted by Azure AD, or any directory that which is trusted by Azure Active Directory, such as a work or a school organization. Suppose if you make an account with your office accounts or a school or any organization account, that one also can be a can have an account and can take a subscription. If you don't belong to one of these organization, suppose you have no accounts in Active Directory, and also you are not in the part of any school accounts or organizational account, then also you can sign up in Azure accounts individually, and you can use the subscription, get the subscription. Getting access resources, how you can take the resources, how you can get the resources. Every Azure subscription is associated with an Azure Active Directory. Every subscription is Azure Active Directory. How is it? It is connected with Active Directory because Active Directory has an account, and then that account is uh, responsible for taking a subscription. Users and service that access resources of subscription first need to authenticate with Azure Active Directory. First, you need to a account in Active Directory, then you can have an access to take the resource from that subscription. Suppose you have a global administrator of an of your company. Now another people came and he needs to use any resources in your company. So first of all, you have to create one account of that that employee, then he can use the Azure resources. Without this, he cannot use the resources of that subscription. Suppose a new developer came, and he needs to access one VM of the development subscription. Now you have to create an account for that developer, then he can access the development subscription VM of development subscription. So getting a subscription, what is the criteria, or what is the different of the way of getting the subscription? There are several way to get an Azure subscription. One is enterprise management, one is Microsoft seller, another is Microsoft partner, and the last one is personal free account. So what is enterprise agreement or enterprise subscription? Any enterprise agreement, customer can add an Azure to their agreement by making of an upfront monetary communication in Azure. Suppose you can give a upfront payment, and you can take a Azure subscription as an enterprise agreement. This commitment is through the year by using a combination of the wide variety of cloud service Azure offers from its global data center. Enterprise agreement have a 99.95% of monthly SLA. Suppose you have to give a yearly base payment in your Azure subscription, and you can get a full year of a subscription for Azure services. And another option is reseller. You can take a subscription from a reseller also, who has the authority to give the uh, Azure resources or Azure account from on behalf of Azure. So it is very simple and easy way to purchase. Another is partner. Microsoft partner, there are a lot of partners in every country and regions here. So the partners are responsible for not only for the purchase, selling or uh, uh, selling or marketing, but also they are involvement of the service also. So they will give you the service also for the solutions. And last one is the personal. Suppose you need just a personal account for own self development or any others like simple a web server or simple app server of your personal, then you can take a personal free account. This free trial account is, like I told you before, that it will not charge for 1 month. It will be $200 free. After the 1 month, they will ask you for the charge. If you agree, then it will go as pay you as you go, or you can stop that subscription, no problem. So these are the subscriptions free. I told you includes 200 credits for first 30 days. After 30 days, this 200 credit will finish, and free limited access for 12 months. Pay as you go, charge you monthly. How many you are using, that one you are giving. CSP is agreement with possible discount through the Microsoft Cloud Solution Provider Partner. From provider partner, you can get some discount from cloud solution, and typically it is for small and medium business enterprises. Now, enterprises, as I discussed before, one agreement, there will be agreement with discount for some license on software license. License means suppose Windows license, and if any software you're using their special third-party software, they can give you targeted with the enterprise scale organizations. The student, there is another account for students for suppose any school or university or educational institute has made one accounts, and they can give some students account from their own. So that one will be $100 for 12 months. You can use $100 12 months. But for that, you must verify that you are the student of that account of that organization. Now there is a cost management. I told you in the what we learned here. This is the cost management. There is the option of cost management in a resource. So from that cost management, you can conduct cost analysis. You can check how much cost is going on, and how much cost is running now, and how much already you have spent it. And after that, there is a budget option also. We have that you can create a budget, and there is a review recommendations also, that the portal will give you the recommendation that you can use this one, or that is cheaper than this VM is cheaper than that VM, like this. And last of all is export data. Suppose you make a cost management from this month. Every month you can take export data in your own to check the costing from month to month or periodically. So these are the things that I have just discuss. Cost analysis, you use cost analysis to explore, analyze your organizational cost. You can view aggregated cost by organization, understand where costs are reduced, where you can reduce the cost, and identify the spending trends. And you can see the accumulated cost over time to estimate monthly, quarterly, even yearly cost trends against the budget. What is the cost against the budget you are doing? And budget, you can create budget help you to plan for and meet a financial accountability in your organization. Suppose every organization has budget for something, so from here you can easily make a budget for your organizational resources in Azure. And it can also surpass your costing also. And recommendation is same thing. Recommendation, as I told you, that Azure will give you some recommendation about cost effective options. Then you can verify the action and make sure that the change make the successfully, and you have make a cost effective uh, process. Exporting cost management data as like quarterly, half yearly, monthly. You can export your this cost data, cost effective data in your drive or in offline as a CSV report to check on analysis monthly or periodically. There is another thing, resource tag. Every resource there is option of tag. Provide metadata for your Azure resources, and every tag has a value also corresponding. Suppose there will be a tag and associated there will be a value. So you can use a tag and value. This is basically it is used for make the billing information. To check out the billing information easily, you use the tag. Why you use tag? There is some things how to make it tags. We will go for lab soon, then you can easily understand what is the tag and what is the value. There are a few things of consider about tagging. There are some things you have to consider about tagging, that every resource or group can maximum have 50 tag name per value pairs. You can make a maximum 50 tag, not more than that. And tags applied to the resource group are not inherited to the resources in the resource group. Suppose if you make a tag for resource group, it is not be inherited by the resources under this resource group. In the resource, you can give another tag also. Suppose you have three. I'm just giving one example to make you more understandable. Suppose you are a development company and you have three type of project. One is mobile project, another is mobile app project, another is suppose one is Android, another is iOS, another is normal desktop app. So these three type of apps, we have a three types of group, resource group. One is development iOS development group, another one is uh, the Android development group, another one is desktop or normal apps development group. Now if I make a name of a value like dev, and name is dev and value is iOS, then suppose at the last 3 months or 4 months, I want to check that how much cost we have already expensed for the development. So you just search with dev, then automatically come the resources that we have taken for the dev and the bill, how much we make a bill for the dev, and the value will be like iOS, Android, and apps. So we don't need to go the every resources to check. We just give the dev and all the developments groups costing or billing will come. So it is the easy way to characterize the costing. So there is some options how we can cost savings. Number one is reservation. What is reservation? Normally we know that reserve something. So if you can reserve some resources, suppose that you need virtual machines, 10 virtual machines, 2 skill servers, or some resources permanently for 3 years or 4 years. So you can take from Azure by advance reservation with 3 years or 2 years for those resources. Then you have get a good discount for that. So it will save up to 80% of benefit. Secure Azure hybrid benefits. Use Windows Server and SQL Server on-premises license with software assurance. Suppose uh, you have a license, already have a license for SQL Server and Windows Server and other. Now you want to take one Azure. In Azure, you want to set up a Windows Server, so you can use that license. So you can reduce the license cost from the Azure also. And Azure credits, monthly credit benefits that allows you to experiment with, develop, and test new solution on Azure. So there is option of credit, so you use and then you will pay. So from that you will get some credits here, and from with that credit you can experiment and develop some test of new Azure. And you have to think about regions also. There are some regions who are their cost is low, and some regions have a more costly. So we have to think about those when you are going for making a resources or taking a resources or making some development environment or like this. There is a management group. Why we need management group? Management group we need for give the Azure policy. So when you will put some policy, you need to make it group. Otherwise, we have to keep you have to endorse that policy in every resources. So make the Azure policy. We can make a manage a group, and under that group we can have a subscription. We can have another group, and if you make a policy on that group, and it will going down hierarchically on the other groups. So suppose here is the human resources. There is the one group. I can you can check here human resources. There is one group, and under this human resources, there is dev test one subscription, and another one is apps. So suppose if you put any resources on human resources, then any policy then human resources, then automatically that policy will be enforced on dev test and apps also. So this is going down hierarchically. These all the things we will do in the lab. I just making some description here. So from for that you can easily understand when we will go in the lab. So when you create a management, there should be a management group ID is a directory unique identifier that is used to submit commands on this management group. There is a unique ID. It will be automatically done by the group, and this identifier is not editable. So you cannot editable this ID. And there will be display names, so you can take a display name here or separate a display name is an option field when creating a management group and can be changed at any time. You can change it anytime, but group ID you cannot change. So what is the uses cases? Allow resources types. You can specify the resources types that your organization can deploy by the Azure policy. You can allow or specify some set of SKU, virtual machines SKU in your organization can deploy. Allowed locations, you can restrict some location. Suppose you restrict uh, the user that they cannot give any you can they cannot take or they cannot deploy any resources in suppose STUS like this. Required tag its value, enforce is required tag and value. There suppose you enforce the policy that they must give tag and value. Without that, no resource will be deployed like this. Azure backup should be enabled for virtual machines. Audit if Azure backup service is enabled for all virtual machines. So you can give the enforce that it will be a always when you will build Azure virtual machine, then it will automatically as take option of backup. So these type of different policies you can take. So how you can implement the Azure policy? First of all, we have to browse the policy definitions. Then we will create the initiative definition, and we will number three, we will take a scope of initiative definition. And last stop, we just view the policy of regulation results. So suppose here is the graphical representations initiative definition. There is a lot of definitions. So we can take a initiative of all this definition for whom? For this type of resources. It can be VM, it can be anything. So from here, I'm going to Azure portal to check the definition, Azure policy and definitions. So it will be easy for you. So this is my Azure portal as I have shown you yesterday. This is my Azure portal. All you know about this portal. This is my accounts as I am MCT, and that's why I'm getting every month $100 from Azure. And here is the notification. Sorry. Here is a notification. From notification, suppose here is the this month 99.98 credit is remaining for me. So anything your resources is doing, any work is doing, here will come the notification. So we will see. So first of all, I will show you the management groups. What is the management group? This is the management groups you can find here. All you can just type here management management groups, groups. Then it will come here. So just click here. This is the management group. I have two group. One is the default tenant root groups, and tenant root groups. We have three types of. I have three types of subscription. These are the subscription. So I want to make a new management group. So let's just create management group ID. Just create a group ID. Suppose 112920 and name HR. Finish. So I'm telling up. I just told you that there is a notification now to my work is what is they are working in the backend. It is just showing here. They are updating a groups. It is in now progress. So we just need to wait some minutes. So there is a I have got a group here, HR. From when I click HR, from HR we can create here another group, or we can add subscription here. So save the subscription will be there. So like this, you can make a management groups here. So from management group, you can give policy here in the policy. So click the policies and you will go the policy and compliances. So there here is the policy. So I'm telling you, first of all, what we need for create definitions. So here is the definitions. So you just make to create definitions. So it's coming. So one thing you can check here, there are a lot of policy here. Look, make it like here. Restrict location from information process storage, vulnerability, establish SQL Server integration. Look, there are a lot of policies here from yeah. So from here you can make a policy definitions. If you need, just write the definition location where we will put the definition in where in HR or IT or in any management group. Optional, you can choose a MS subscription also, then save. You can give the name, you will give the you must give the name, and you it will be better to always give the description, and then you have a create a new category or use the existing category. What are those categories? These are the categories: app service or auto manage or automation, Azure Active Directory, Azure Arc, Azure Data Explorer. Which type of category this policy will be, you can choose from here, backup and everything. And after that, you can import from GitHub. Suppose if you have any policy in the GitHub, from GitHub you can import here. And this is the JSON file template. So from here also there is a JSON file. From here also you can check the codes. So from here you can make a policy definition. After that, what you need to initiate the definition. So click here, and from here, suppose I'm clicking here H here, you can click anything, suppose IT or select. So the name, you will put the name, the description, then which category, use existing category or create new also you can take, you can version, you can give the version, any version, then give the next will become the policies. From add policy from the definition, suppose which definition you already created, from that definition you can add those definitions here. Then which group you want to give this initiative, these policies. From here you can make a name of the group or subgroup like this. Then initiative parameters, there are some parameters, policy parameters will be there, and then review will be create, and when will we create that type of policy will go for HR policies. In HR group, this type of policy will be imposed. And last is assign. Now you will just assign that initiative. Now you will just assign those initiative in this group. And there is some options also, advanced resource selector. There are some parameters when we will put the when we will finish all the categories, all the things, then we will make this thing. Then these options will come. Then and then last, you can just review and create, and it will create automatically. So this is the management group and resources, that how you can make policy on management groups. Now we have first off we have make a cost management. So here the cost management. From cost management, you have a cost analysis. I've told you this is the portal cost analysis of mine, and this is the things. I have not too much. I've just only $0.2 I've spent. That's why these little things are coming. Then you have a cost budgets. From here you can add a budget. Suppose create a budget, your subscription here, and any name. Suppose you can give budget 1. Then it can be billing month, invoices, billing quarter, billing year, monthly. So I put it like as it is, January and December 31, 1 year. Amount, suppose you give the last month, so you can see that last month I have cost $13. So you can see here, suppose my budget is $70. Now next, now type actual, suppose 20%, then it will be $14. My budget, it will alert me when it is go for 20%, when there will be an email. So you can mention in one email, and an email will go here for as a notification. Language is default, or you can give any language, it will be English, and you can create here. So after the create, there will be a budget alert will go there. When it is nearly to crossing the 20% of your budget, then it will give a email notification to your email. There is another is cost alerts. There is no cost alert here. So from here you can make a budget, and from budget, like here, you can make a cost alert. Like same budget, just here is set alerts. How it will make, how you can give at set alerts. So it will give you SMS or email notification or like this. So these are the thing, and advice recommendation. As I told you, there is option of advisor recommendation. So there is a recommendation also, successfully refresh recommendation. I have no recommendation because I have not too much use in this portal. So there is no recommendation like this. It is reserved. Instance configuration equals 3 years and 30 days. 3 years and 30 days. They are reserve the instance configuration, and then from those configuration they are analyzes the cost management advisor recommendation. So far what we learned here, these are the web lab portal, and this practical I'm showing here. Now I am going again to the my presentation. So we was here Azure policy. We have done here Azure policy. Now role-based access control. What is role based? Role based means you have some roles, and from roles you can have some access permission. From that access permission, you can access. You can have a authorization to access something. This is the role base concept. What is the concept? Concept is very clear. Security principle is the main concept to make it more secure. Object that press something that is requesting to access resources. To make your objects more secure, you need to make that role-based concept. Role definition. What is role definition? This is the collection of permission, that list of operation that can be performed. There is a collection of, that is instruction, that these you can do, that you cannot do, this up to these things you can do, and up to that things you cannot do. Scope. What is the scope? Boundary of the level of access. The boundary. There will be a boundary. They will give you a boundary of level of access. This type of access, suppose read, write, which level of access you can be there, you can do by there. Assignment is attaching role definition to the security principle of a particular scope. Just you the assign that security principle on that particular scope. User can grant access described in a role definition by creating an assignment. By making an assignment, you can give the grant access of that. Deny assignment are currently read only and are set by Azure Blueprint and Azure Managed Apps. Deny means you just read. You can read, otherwise you cannot do nothing. You have no options to do anything, just only read. So there are some collection of roles we have: owner, contributor, reader, backup operator, security reader, and a lot of roles there. So we just think about the contributor. What is the contributor doing? Action. Actions is all he can do, but not action. Not action means he cannot do. What he cannot do? Delete, write, and elevate access means he cannot give any permission, any others user to give the permission, access permission to any resources if you make them as a contributor. These are the built-in, and some is role-based. You can make your own way, customs also. So here is a example of role assignment. So easily you can check here. Suppose is a security principal who has a authority to give the role to the users or groups. So he make a groups, marketing group, and marketing groups he gave, and a resources manager, a resources group is there. Their name is Pharma Sales Resource Group, and that resource group he gave marketing group as a contributor. It means a marketing group can not delete, write, and any give any assign any others user assigned to that sales resource group, but they can do work on that, but they can not delete. They have no authority to delete. So they can work from that resources, but in the of that group, but they cannot use, delete, or write or they cannot assign any other group's member on that resources. So this is the role-based access control. The differences between the Azure role-based roles and Azure AD roles. There are two types of. You can make a mistakes or you can make a confusion. What is the roles of RBS and what is the roles of Active Directory? RBS role-based, what they are managing access to Azure resources. They are actually working with Azure resources. They are controlling Azure resources. And what is Active Directory? Active Directory manage access the only Active Directory objects. So what are those Active Directory objects? Active Directory objects is the users and groups and these things. Scope can be specified at multiple levels. It can be a multiple levels. Means a lot of level is there. So they are using that, they're working with that levels. And Azure AD, what is that? They have only a tenant levels. As you know, Active Directory is working under the tenant. So there is one level, that one is tenant level. Role information can be accessed. These Azure RBAC roles, these you can access from the Azure portal, Azure CLI, Azure PowerShell, Azure Resource Manager template, ARM, what we call, and REST API. But for this Azure AD roles information, if you want to access that one, so you can have Azure portal, Microsoft 365 admin portal, Microsoft Graph, Azure Active Directory, PowerShell for Graph. These are the things, the difference of the Azure RBAC roles and Azure AD roles. And this is the authentication. So look, global admin a user, global admin has the full authority of Azure AD admin roles and also Azure RBAC roles. But here Azure AD admin roles has a full authority, global admin here. Any admin roles, they are have a global admin, application developer, billing admin. But in RBAC roles, we have some like owner, contributor, reader, user access roles. Azure RBAC actually roles you thinking about the functional, and Azure admin roles, Azure AD admin roles is the administrative roles. So these are the things we have covered so far, and here's the roles of owner, RBAC role owner. Owner has full access of all resources, can delegate access to others. Contributor create and manage all types of Azure resources, but cannot grant access to others. Reader view only the Azure resources. User access administrator manage user access to Azure resources. He make the user access of the Azure resources. And there's the lab, and this is the finish of my first module here. So suppose any resource group, we have one resource group here from IAM, add role assignment. And look, these are the role assignment, owner, contributor, reader. There are a lot of role assignment there. From here, you can take any role assignment here. So in the next module, we will talk about the Azure Resource Manager. From there, you can also, we can have a very clear concept on this role administration. So these are the finish of third module of AZ104. It is called compliance, governance and compliance. Now I will start the fourth module of Azure AZ104. Now this one is Azure Administrator. This is Azure Administration. How you will administrate Azure. What we learn here, core cloud service, some core cloud service and managed services in Azure portal. We will play with Azure portal. Control and organize Azure resources with Azure Resource Manager. There is a resource manager. From resource manager, how we can create, delete, and modify the resource or changing the resource from the manager or transfer the resource. Build Azure Resource Manager template. If there is option of making a template, automate Azure task is in script with PowerShell. There is a PowerShell option, and we have a manage virtual machines with Azure CLI. Suppose if you want to make one from CLI, what you work with CLI. So resource manager, what is resource manager? Resource manager is a like a container where you can put resources from your deployment environment. Suppose what you need, you you first of all you have to create one resource manager, that a container, and that container you can put some resources there. It may be a virtual machine, it may be a virtual network, it may be a storage, it may be a firewall, or any resources. And from Azure Resources Manager, you can deploy, update, and delete in a single and coordinate operation. You can provide security, auditing, and tagging features. As I last module I told about the tagging feature. You can use tools and API also. Resource. What is resource? A manageable item that is available through Azure. Some common resources as a virtual machine, storage account, web app, database, and virtual networks. But there are many more. There are a lot of resources in between them. There are some popular like virtual machine, storage accounts, web app, database, and virtual networks. Some resources. These are the resources that you can manage the things. Resource group. As I told you, it's a container. It's a container that holds those resources that you need. Resource provider. There are some provider who will give you the resources. Now, the example is like Microsoft Compute. There is one provider who can give you the compute type of resources like uh, serverless computing or VM. There is also like Microsoft Storage or Microsoft Network. So they will give the storage resources and they will give you the network resources. There is a ARM template. What is ARM template? It's like a JSON notation files, defines more resources, some deploy resource group. So JSON template is like ARM template will follow the some JSON code. From that code, you can make a resource with the code. No need to go follow the steps of doing those. Suppose when we need actually ARM template, suppose you need to create a more than 100 or 200 type of 200 of virtual machines. So one by one, it will be very difficult for you. So you can make a ARM template and you just deploy the template and automatically all the 200 virtual machines will be deployed in your environment or in your uh, uh, subscription. And some also declarative syntax. There are some syntax. By using that syntax, you also can create the resource manage any resources. So just you need to know the syntaxes only and nothing else. So resource group, what is resource group? Resource group resources can only exist in one resource group. Every resource without resource group, you cannot take any resource. You need to have one resource group to take one resource or many resources. Groups cannot be renamed. One you have created, you cannot rename the groups. Groups can have resources for many different types. There are in one group, there are many different types of resources like database, like networking, like storage, like firewall, like serverless computing, like web app, any type of, no problem. Groups can have resources from many different regions. Like you have a VM in East US regions, you take VM from East US, you take suppose one storage from Asia Pacific, no problem. Deployment are incremental. It is incremental. It is deployed in an incremental way. Resource manager locks. There is an option that you can lock your resource manager. From the resource manager, you can lock your resources that anybody cannot make it delete. So it will be it will not give you a permission to delete. So from here you can lock the resource. Suppose you have an important firewall, you can make a firewall and you don't you have a you have think that anybody of your user can delete that firewall, so you can put a lock there, so nobody can delete that firewall. So there is option. One option is moving resources. Suppose you have a resource, uh, you have two groups: management resource group, and another group is IT resource group. So from IT resource group, one VM, one employee has gone. No need, their unused VM is there. So you need to transfer this VM to the a management group employee. So you can move that VM to the resource, another resource group means management group. There is a no problem. You can do it. Or you can move that resource to another subscription also. No problem. Also, you can remove resources group and delete resources there. No problem. You can do it very easily. Just in a click. You can check the limit also. Resources have a default limit, also known as quota. There is a quota, helpful to track the current use and plan of future use. You can open to free support case increase limits and published maximas. So you can use a request increase also. There is option of request increase. Suppose if a CPU is taking 35% or say 80% of users, then you can request them to increase that CPU capacity. As I show you that from the portal, you can search from here any resources. There is a cloud shell. There is an option in cloud. There is a cloud shell option. In cloud shell, they basically used for any deployment. You can deploy here for basically you can use on architecture. When you go for architecture and DevOps course, then you can find a lot of work there. So you can put a configuration file there and you can deploy from here. It has two code it can use. One is Bash and another one is PowerShell. And ARM templates, it is Azure Resource Manager template. Especially defines all the resource manager resources in a deployment. You can deploy resource manager template into, it's a template. So as I told you that suppose you need to create a VM or in same configuration, 80 VMs, 9 VMs, 10 VMs, or same configurations, subnets you need to, virtual networks you need to create, 30 virtual network, 40 virtual networks, or same type of firewalls, 4 firewalls, same configuration. So you can make a template and you just deploy that template. It will create automatically. What is template benefits? Templates improve consistency. There will be a consistency. Templates help express complex deployments. There is a complex deployments when we will deploy. There are a lot of configuration we need to check. No need to check. You already done it. So you just deploy. Templates reduce manual error prone task. So it is not manual. It is automatically deployed. Templates are code. This is a code. So you need to memorize the code or you need to understand the code. Templates promote reuse. Templates, you can reuse the template. No problem. As many time as you can use. Templates are linkable. It can be linkable. It can link, and templates simplify orchestration. Suppose you can make it on your way. So these are the Azure administration. So I am going to the my Azure portal to show you more details. So this is my Azure portals. As you know, this is the Azure portal. So as I told you, so I need a resource group. So these are the resource. You can type here resource groups. Click here. Here it comes the resource group. So from here there are some groups here. So I'm making one new group. Just click here and it will go options to make a group. So first of all, you have to make a subscription. So maybe you have a lot of subscription. To take the subscription here, and resource group name. What is the name of the resource group? You can take AZ 104, sorry, 104 RJ. Always try to make some, you know, uh, identification like RJ. Just make a code that RJ. So you can, when you will check in the portal, so you can understand that this one a resource group. And here is the region. A lot of region is here. So from here you can choose any region. Suppose I can choose here East US or Central US, any. Suppose East US as the first one. Next is tags. So we can give here tag. What is the tag? Lab class number module 4, like this. Now next, review for create. It will review if there is any options we have missed or we have put it wrong or not. If validation is passed, then you can click create. And I'm going for yes. No, it is already notified that it is created. So go to the resource group, and I am in the resource group. What is the resource group name? AZ104RG. It is here. What is the subscription? Subscription is this one. Already no deployment here. Location is East US. Tax is here. You can edit the tag. Look, move. As I told, you can move from one subscription to another subscription of these full resources. I have no subscription any other, so I cannot do it. Just give it here. So suppose now I am in this resource, I want to make one owner. So how? Just make it access control IAM, click here and then add role assignment. And from the old role assignment, I can make it create a role. View details. What is this? This is the assignment details here. Select role. Now next, who is the member? Select here members. So I am my name, YASIN. Here is me. Click here. Select. So I am here. Now make a review and assign. So it is already adding. So as I told you, in resource manager, it will be more clear to you about the role RBSE role assignment as we discussed in module 3. So look, here role assignment, I am the role assignment. What I am the owner. And from these resources, you can check overview. This is the overview. From resources, here is also cost analysis. In resources, how many resources you are using, costing will be there. If you have a deployment, then we will know about these things later. So now this is the resource group. Now suppose make a resource. Which resource I can make? Normally, suppose a virtual machine VM. We have a class with virtual machine, but I'm just giving you a simple for virtual machines. Suppose I want to create a virtual machines, create Azure virtual machines. We will have a full class of virtual machines, but now I am shortly I am giving. Here is that look. Subscription disable. So this is my subscription. This one is enable subscription and resource group. Look. Here must you have one resource group. Here is the resource group. Or if you didn't create, so you have to create from here. So without resource group, you cannot create any resources. When you will create all those things, suppose like can create virtual machines name is set lab, just making one availability zone, make it zone 1. We will talk about these things when we will go when we will have a class with virtual machines, then we will clear on it. Then standard ubuntu, not like, well, make it as it is what is there. So make it fast, do it. User just no need, just make it. Next will be disk, then networking. Yeah, I'm just going very thoroughly to make a resource to show you that how resource is in tag with resource manager. So here is tags, you can put here tags also. 13 selected, review and create. Look, there is one interesting thing here. It is validation, or validation is passed. The subscription credits per hour, it will be 0.046 US dollar is I'm taking this one. Then one thing you can see here, these are the all the configuration. In the here there is a template information of automation. Suppose, as I told you, if you want to make uh, like automated deployment, then you need to this one like ARM, virtual machine ARM. So here is the all the course syntax is here for virtual machines for one by one. Suppose the version, if you want to change anything for next virtual machines, so you can put it here and then you can put deploy. So you just make it copy and paste here and you can make deploy, or you can add to in this library, or you can download in your PC. So these are the ARM templates. We will have a class on this, so don't worry about. I will show you some codes here, how you can change the codes and names and the options, which options, which need these options. So I will show you, no problem. So template clear. Now validation is passed. Now I just make it create. It will take time. There is a lot of things is going on in the back end. No need. Yes. Pricing. Yeah, there is another thing is a pricing calculator. I just for there is the option of pricing calculators. From pricing calculators, suppose in virtual machines, you have a budget, suppose $10, $20. Then you can have a pricing calculators here. Suppose West US, how much money, all categories, CPU, general purpose, Windows or Linux, Ubuntu or RHEL or SUSE Linux Enterprise. You have a lot of options here. Then you can have 1 year subscription, 13% discount. Look, 3 years reserved. As I told you, it will cost 57%. You will get discount from here. Like this way, you have a calculator. From calculator, you can create, you can check the prices of the resources here. Here is a lot of resources here. Download private key for create resources. Oh, I have created the SSH key pair. That's why it is asking for a private key for create. No problem. SSH key for suppose if you want to go for check access the virtual machine remotely, then you can need this SSH key. Already downloaded. Now it's the look. This is deployment in progress. and it will show you the resources of deployment, how it is deployment in progress, how it is going for deployment details. So it will take time because there is a lot of things is going on there, making the IPs, making the networking, set up the operating system OS. Lot of deployment is going on. So these are the progress is going on. So it will take some time. So take back. So it's already ready. So we go to resources. So we have resources here. Every virtual machines is created here as at lab. There is resources group there, which is under AZ104 RG. This resources group has this AZ lab virtual machine. Operating system is Linux, like this. So from here, if you want to move the resources group, you can create here, move, and from here you can create any other group like a RJ. It will just click next, it will resource the, it will move the resource, this resource from another resource group. So now the last thing is to how you can delete the group, delete the resources. You can delete the resources and delete the resource group also. So one thing, you can delete the resource from here, and suppose if you want to delete the whole container of the resources, it means resources groups, then you can delete this resources group. If you delete this resources group, then it will automatically delete it, the whole resources under this resources group. What we have in this resources, one VNet is here, one virtual machine is there, one public IP is here, and one network security group is here. It is automatically created when we create the virtual machines. So another thing I can do to show you, I have virtual machines. These are the logs. Suppose I don't want to delete this one. Anyone can delete this one. So add name, VM log, any type of name you can give, delete, log type, delete, don't delete. Okay. Now let's see whether I'm going for resource group delete, then it can be deleted or not. Let's check. What is the name? Type the resource group name. So what is the group name? This is the group name. Copy and paste. Now if I want to delete, what happened? Look, they are telling that it is failed because there is one option is it is locked. One resource is locked. So I cannot delete. So what I can do, I can go here. If I want to really delete this one, go here, logs. The VM log, just delete here, these log options. Now I am going to again resource group. Now I want to delete resource group. Again, copy this one, the name of the resource group, put it here, and now click delete. I think it will delete. Look, it is deleting resource groups. It means all the resources under these resources groups will be deleted. Let's see. Refresh. Look, all the resources one by one, it will be deleted. It will take some time. just sit back and take some time for deletion. And it is taking time, so we have to wait to show the result about deletion. So far, what we have done module 3 for governance and compliance. Now we have done module 4 about Azure administration. So next day we will learn about another modules. So this is the today's class. We have finished these modules with today's class. I'm just waiting to check the deletion if it is deleted properly or not. Tomorrow we will go for a virtual networking, intersite connectivity, and network traffic management. We will cover these 3 modules all together will be the next class. So if you have any question with today's class, you can tell me now. So I will try to give you the answer here. It's taking some time. It's showing that it is running. Already 4 minutes gone. If you see the process, then you can see the process that resource not found, already resource gone from the deleted resource, already deleted. So now you can check from the resource group. Now look, there is no resource of AZ104 that we have created. So today is the end of this class. So if you have any question from this class, you can ask me here. Hello, Surag, are you there?
Yes. Thank you, Yasin, for the session. I think there were a few questions in the chat box.
Checking.
I have reposted someone's questions.
After creating so many resources, group subscription and uh, license is just Azure AD free. What is the question? I have a question. Azure Active Directory, we have Azure AD, but the license is just Azure AD free. This the device join type when we check was only Azure AD registered. Do you need a license? Obviously, you need a license or subscription to make the Azure AD join. And another, after creating so many resources groups, subscription and management rules, etc., is there any possible way to save all and import it later? If so, how to do that? Yes, you have there is an option in CSV format. You can import it, and as I show you that resources groups, you can import it as a template manager. From ARM template manager, you can download the JSON files of configuration files. From the configuration files, you can check all the configuration. Also, you have there is a CSV files of parameters, so you can check download the parameters also. Yes, there is option of app service. When you have in app service, it will come in the service options costing. And when you click that service options costing, then you can check the app service cost. No, there is no limitation about creating resources and groups. You can create as much resources as groups, but depending on your subscription and costing. Any Azure pass available? Actually, I don't understand the question. Please make me clear. I will share the slide to Surag. Surag will share you maybe from your email to your email. Is there any lab what that we can practice? As I told you, you have a free account in Azure. So if you have any credit card from credit card, you can get $200 free from your Azure from in Azure account. From that account, you can practice. And if again, I'm telling in the first class, I also told that if you pass the AZ 104 or any associate level exam, then you can apply for MCT, and you refer my refer my email. So if I get that reference email, then I make it confirm that you can have a MCT. If you have MCT, then you have $100 uh, credit every month in a Azure portal. Yes, for making the policy, you have to, it's better to make the grouping X resource. If you have credit card, then you just go portal.azure.com and create an account. From when you will create that account, you will find an option of a free account. You just click the free account, and from the free account, you will give the credit card, your credit card details, and automatically it will make a subscription. I have given the answer about is there any guide and that we can in progress of MCT. If you are MCT, then you just uh, may take a portal of make an account in Azure portal.azure.com, then you can get this lab. If you want to get $100, then for student account. $200 per month. And if you want, if you MCD, then you will get $100 for every month.
Looks like we are done with the questions. In that case, we can wind up the today's class. And thank you, Yasin, for the wonderful session. I was really resourceful. I hope everyone here listening to you was able to understand and grasp the knowledge. I hope to see you tomorrow with us as well. And thank you all for joining this session. And there will be a questions for today's session on the LinkedIn like we did it today. So we'll be sharing that link in the community and also in the tomorrow session as well. So yeah,
Thank you all.
thank you.
See you tomorrow. Thank you.